If you are a city commuter, you would absolutely love the Bajaj Chetak. It's simple to use, it's reliable, and it's comfortable. It has almost everything you can ask for. Almost, and not everything. So one of the cool things about the Bajaj Chetak is its design. It resembles so much to our Chetak, the very old, the legendary Chetak. I am sure you'd fall in love with the design of this bike. And in fact, the structure of the bike is also pretty good. I mean, you will feel that the bike is very solidly built and you would feel safe when you ride the bike. You see, the Bajaj Chetak comes in 3 colors: blue, black, and the hazelnut. And in fact, there was red color variant of the bike as well. But with poor demand, the production has been stopped. But just imagine the red color Chetak shining brightly on the road. It would be something, right? I really wish Bajaj will start the production of this bike again in red color. Also, if you notice closely, you'd observe that the colors of the bike are not so attention grabbing. If you have seen one of these bike on the roads, I am sure that the bike colors are not so attention grabbing from everywhere. But once you notice this bike, I am sure you would spend a good few seconds to just observe the bike and enjoy the sight of it. Let's talk about the design of the bike for a second. Now Bajaj has very nicely modernized the old Chetak bike. The front look of the bike looks pretty much like the old Chetak. The huge headlamp on the handle, the huge indicator lights along the sides. In fact, the circular LED strip on the headlamp gives the bike a very refreshing modern look. And the headlamp itself is not so bright, but it does its job pretty good in the city. To be honest, I was not so sure how comfortable the seats of the bike would be, but I was really impressed by the comfort of this seating. It has these well cushioned and very broad seats. Amazing how quality these seats are. You would love just riding on these cushy seats on your city roads. Now it's quite reasonable to expect a good boot space on this spacious looking vehicle, right? Yes, you do get a good boot space. But if you are here to compare the boot space of Ola S1 Pro or even Ather 450X with Chetak, you would be disappointed. Practically speaking, I like space on Chetak than Ola or Ather. In Chetak, the reason you have a smaller boot is because you share the boot with battery pack. So you can practically fit only one half helmet into this space and nothing else. So what I mean is the boot space of this bike is pretty decent when you compare with a petrol bike. But Bajaj Chetak being an EV, it's fair enough to expect some extra boot space. Right. But just think about it. What all would you like to put in your boot space? Your helmet? And once you start riding the bike, you will wear the helmet. So you would probably want the boot space for a backpack, a water bottle, a charger. Probably you want to charge your phone by keeping it in your boot space with a power bank or a power socket in the boot, right? Now, just imagine if you have enough boot space where you can put all these things. Every time you want to take one of these, you would have to park your bike, you have to open your boot, you have to get down off the bike, you have to open your boot and then access these items. The same struggle that I face every single day with my Ather. Now, I think the thought behind this boot space is to ask, why to give the space under your seat? Why can't it be in front of you? And hence, this front space of the bike. So right over here in front of the driving seat, they have provided this extra space. Once you open it, you will find a pouch with charger to the left of you. And to the right, there is this charging socket which you can use to charge your phone. And there is a first aid kit as well that comes here. Now you can also replace this first aid kit from here under your seat and then place a small water bottle here. You can access these things instantly in front of you. And more importantly, the charger is covered in a pouch. And this space is also sealed and it is locked, which means your things are safe. To be honest, I like this space. I really wish rest of the EVs also to adopt a similar design. I mean, you get the space, but you get one under the seat and one in front of you. As a result, your life will become easy. Now, the amazing things about Chetak will not end here. In fact, the usage of the bike has also been given a very deep thought, and the result is, it's been made extremely simple. There is no traditional key that you get with Chetak. Instead, you will get this key fob, which is basically like driving a car in 2023, which means you don't need to plug in the key to start the bike. You can simply place it in your pocket and start the bike. If you are not nearby, no one can start the bike. Simple. So this means you can simply park the bike anywhere, simply press this power button and walk away. If you are more than 1 meter away, no one can start your bike. Once you are within the 1 meter range, you can power on the bike. In fact, the key fob itself is really cool. It has this rubber finish, so it won't damage any item that you have in your pocket. And it feels pretty cute and it has a pretty good grip in your hands. So once you have the key fob in your pocket, single tap this power button to turn on the bike. or the motor, and your dashboard shows the true range left, battery left, and by the way, the bike is in the neutral mode now. To start riding, you have to just click on this D button which represents drive. Now you can go to eco mode and sports mode. Now you might ask, is this extra step required? Why don't it move as soon as I turn it on? I personally think it makes sense because the bike makes absolutely no sound at all. At least for Ather, you'll get that whining noise once you start raising the bike. For this, there is no sound at all, so there is no way that you would know that the bike has started. I think having that extra one button key should be fine for you to realize that the bike can move anytime now. That's a safer option to have. I'm okay if it is also not there, but it being present, it adds an extra layer of safety. So now back to the handle now. To the left of the handle, you get these most familiar switches. One for the horn, one for the indicator, and one for the headlight. Straight simple stuff. And here you get one more button for the Bluetooth connection. That can be handy if you want to connect to a smartphone for songs or something. You'll love this bike as a pillion rider as well. In fact, my most favorite spot on Chetak is the pillion seat. It is that comfortable. Absolutely no vibration and no sound, and you hardly feel any vibrations with this extremely good suspension and with this broad cushy seats. If you ask me about the seats present in the bikes of EV right now, I really liked one of Chetak and then the S1 Pro Ola. These two offer very broad cushy seats. If you are someone who considers the bike seats the primary parameter to purchase a bike, you have these two now. And the footrest of the pillion seat is also really very built. Now this bike also comes with a center stand which you won't find in S1 Pro Ola or 450X Ather. I think the Bajaj have ticked every box of the fundamental things of their strengths that they offer in every bike. Speaking of the performance of the bike, this bike comes in two driving modes, eco and sports mode. Every single time you cross a certain speed, around 45 kmph, the bike mode will automatically switch to sports mode. In eco, you will get a range of close to 90 kilometers. Sports mode, you will get a range of 75 to 80 kilometers, which is not that great when you compare the range with Ola and Ather. Ola gives around close to 135 kilometers, the S1 Pro model, and the 450X Ather gives around close to 105 kilometers, the third generation. And the maximum speed you can ride in this bike is also very less. It's only close to 60 and 63 kmph in sports mode, which can be a drawback if you are expecting a high performance. Also, it takes around close to 5 hours to completely charge your bike. 0% to 80% will take only 3.5 hours. The rest 20% will take close to 1.5 hours. That's a very long time to wait. So, I'm assuming you would want to charge your bike every night, overnight, if you ride longer. And there is one more drawback with the bike, is that there are no fast chargers for the bike right now. I mean, neither the private fast charger like Oben RORR nor the public fast charger like Ather and Ola. You have to live with this slow charging portable charger. Now this can be a drawback if you are someone who want to ride longer every day, or you want to go for longer rides on your Bajaj Chetak. That probably you can't do unless you plan for that extra 3 hours or 4 hours to charge. But apart from that, if you are just a city commuter, you would love the bike. Well, now having said this, the control that you have on this bike is really good. The acceleration and braking of this bike are extremely smooth. You would always feel that you are in control of the bike. So now coming to the ultimate question, should you buy this bike? How often have we seen this, that there will be a brand who will absolutely nail a product and that will be loved across, and it gets a reputation of a legendary bike. And once a new technology comes, the company attempts to make the bike, it runs behind it, it slightly kind of falls short of it. I think Bajaj Chetak is its latest example. I mean, the Bajaj Chetak as we know it is known for its extremely solid body, simple to use, and it's comfortable while riding. I think this bike also offers something similar, but not completely. I mean, at least for our generation, we remember the Chetak as a bike which is driven by your parents and grandparents. Not a heavy use bike, just for a simple use to office, to grocery shop, and probably to drop us to schools. And I think this bike, the Bajaj Chetak Electric, is also built with similar use case in mind. And it's really simple to use. I mean, there is no too much of technology that you should know to ride the bike. Extremely simple to use. Just put a key in your pocket and ride the bike. Practically speaking, if you are someone who won't ride more than 60 or 70 kilometers a day, you would be fine with it. But if you are someone who rides beyond 70 kilometers a day, then you might feel it a problem. Then you might start to feel the range anxiety, the need for fast charges, and the need for that extra range, need for extra speed. If you are looking for a safe investment on an EV, probably you can go for a Bajaj Chetak. But having said that, I can still imagine this bike to be driven by my parents or grandparents, because I think it's because of the legendary status of the Chetak and probably with the design as well, that as soon as I saw the bike, I felt that I should buy this for my dad. Probably it's not for me. So, what do you guys think? Please do let us know in the comments below.